Welcome, everyone, to the final Vosik AI webinar of the year. As the year comes to a close, we wanted to reflect on the transformative journey of artificial intelligence-driven strategies in 2023. I'm Brandon Savage, your host for this session, where we'll dive into decoding AI-driven strategies for success from top retention leaders. We have a rich agenda lined up, showcasing insightful case studies and deep dive discussions on predictive customer lifecycle management solutions. Together, we'll explore the milestones achieved and the lessons learned, paving the way for even more groundbreaking advancements in the coming year. So let's embark on the journey and reflect on how AI continues to redefine success across many dynamic industries. As introductions, my name is Brandon Savage. I am the head of solution enablement here at Vosik AI. I have spent over 2 decades as a customer experience and operations leader in recurring revenue, subscription-based industries. I look forward to our discussion here today, and I'll turn the time over to Vasu and then Doug.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Hello, everyone. My name is Vasu Akula, and I lead our data science team. I'm certainly super excited to close the year with this webinar, which also gives us a chance to look back and see how far we came along with AI technology. A little bit of background that's relevant for this webinar about myself. Over the last 25 years, I had the opportunity to work with hundreds of subscription recurring revenue businesses and help them implement advanced analytic solutions to improve customer lifetime value through customer retention and many other use cases. I'm super happy to mention that many of these implementations led to tens of millions of dollars in customer lifetime value increase for our customers. What's even more satisfying is they also led to awards and recognitions for both our customers and our team members. They also led to gathering knowledge from these implementations and led to patents and thought leadership publications over the years. So certainly we have been collecting the knowledge about how to deploy these AI-enabled solutions for subscription customers over the years. I'm super happy to share all of that with you on this webinar. One thing I wanted to say is I believe results like these are possible only because our team of 100+ data scientists and engineers focus on bringing the best possible AI, especially created for subscription recurring revenue businesses. We focus on that and that only, right? Because of that focus, our team clearly understands the unit economics of these businesses, how customers of these businesses interact with them, and more importantly, how to leverage these touch points to drive proactive and profitable actions to increase retention, upsells, referrals, upgrades, or even score your sales leads. So certainly looking forward to reviewing the roadmap that has been perfected over the last 10+ years in bringing AI-driven transformation to subscription businesses. Doug?
Yes, hello. Good morning, everyone. My name is Doug Shapiro. I'm the Chief Sales Officer here at Vosik. I've been working with Vasu for about 15 years on building out our platform and applications that drive business value. I've been an advisor in the customer retention management business for more than 30 years. Been living down in Silicon Valley most of that time, helping organizations like yours accelerate profitability. And I'll stop there and turn it back to Brandon.
Well, terrific. Well, if you've been following our webinars this year, we've had one every month. And these past sessions have underscored our dedication to empowering subscription businesses. I'm going to talk briefly about a few of the highlights, and then each of us will talk about some of our case studies that we had webinars with some of our partners and go into a little bit more detail on 3 specifically. So a quick highlight of some of the ones that I wanted to talk about first. Our webinar that was titled 3 Shifts for Subscription Businesses to Unlock Growth was held in April. It provided valuable insights into the changing dynamics of the subscription business model and how artificial intelligence can pave the way for unprecedented growth. In August, We had a collaboration with FrontPoint Security that Doug is going to talk about. But I'd also like to talk about creating a business case for AI-driven growth from existing customers. This is our September webinar that emphasized the importance of nurturing and capitalizing on your existing customer base using the power of AI. We believe there's been a strong recurring theme through these webinars and that they're a testament to our continuous efforts here at Vosik to provide businesses with the knowledge and the tools they need to harness the full potential of artificial intelligence-driven growth. As we look at 3 of our key partners that participated in webinars this year, the first one I want to talk about is one of the top 3 home security and automation providers, Brinks Home. They're headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and serve over 1 million people throughout the country. They've been a partner of ours for 7 years, and over that time, they have realized an amazing increase in customer lifetime value. Over those years, we've had the opportunity to host 2 separate webinars with Brinks executives. First, with Jay Autry, who was the Chief Customer Officer at the time. And last month's webinar was with Veronica Machuri, the Senior Vice President of Customer Care and Retention. At Brinks, they are consistently using our AI predictions across multiple channels and have realized significant customer lifetime value and reduced their attrition. I thought I'd share some of the key takeaways from Veronica's webinar that I believe our audience today, peers in other subscription-based businesses, would find insightful. They are now averaging over 50,000 customer contract extensions per year that are driven by our solution. And they're on track to putting almost 1/3 of their customer base back onto a contract extension. So as they, like many customers, like many companies, they sign up a customer who's on an initial contract. It might be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years. Then they roll off that initial contract and are going month to month. They've been able to use our solution to be able to get those customers who are out of contract back onto long-term contracts voluntarily. This has resulted in over $100 million in additional customer lifetime value to their organization. And no surprise, this initiative has helped lower their customer churn by over 200 basis points and has resulted in improved customer retention and satisfaction. Partnering with Vosik AI has allowed them to implement artificial intelligence and data science solutions much faster than trying to build those capabilities internally. And Vosik acts as an extension of their team, providing consulting, artificial intelligence models, data science expertise, and a customized user interface to operationalize the solutions and to drive business results. But Brinks is just the first of our clients to present in one of our webinars. I'll turn the time over to Vasu to discuss another one of our valued partners.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon. Every time I hear the success story of Brinks, it just looks like the blueprint for many others to replicate that, right? So I'll highlight a similar story. The next story we are going to be highlighting is the 6th largest pest control business called Aptive Environmental. They are headquartered in Salt Lake City, Utah, and offer their services to over 600,000 homes throughout the country. They've been our customer for over 3 years now and realized 12% customer attrition reduction through Vosik solution. Here, our business champion is Edmund Mackey, who is their Chief Strategy Officer, right? So we implemented AI-enabled customer retention solution in their contact center, and their agents have been reviewing 50,000 high-risk customers with contract renewals. These customers are predicted with our predictive models to be canceling at very, very high attrition rates. Before they call to cancel, before they switch to someone else, before they make up their mind, our AI is giving these contact center representatives an opportunity to call them before all this damage is done and renew their contracts by another year, another 18 months, another 2 years, so on and so forth. But 50,000 run rate per year, right? That resulted in a customer lifetime value increase for Aptiv by over $30 million. So these cases are always, standing up at tens of millions. In this case, 30 million. Brandon's case is, 100 million. So many implementation examples. Let's hear from Doug about another similar case study. Doug?
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to talk about FrontPoint. And FrontPoint is a top home security solutions organization that services both the U.S. and Canada. They're currently headquartered in McLean, Virginia, not too far from our U.S.-based headquarters. And they consistently secure a 4-star rating from Trustpilot, which is not easy to do for anyone that's in that pursuit. They've been our customer for over 2 years. Our business champion is an amazing individual named Derek Carter. He's very approachable. He's their chief operating officer and really is passionate about advancing FrontPoint and leveraging our people, process, and technology. We've collaborated with Derek and his team to implement Vossic's AI-enabled customer retention solution in their contact center, as well as their e-commerce site, yielding some great results. FrontPoint has been running what I call prediction to prescription. That is prediction to prescription, proactive retention programs aimed at high-risk customers before they call to cancel. They're running an average of 10,000 annual high-risk customer renewals each year. We continuously monitor their entire customer base for 200 plus risk predictors. We flag their top customers who are exhibiting those risk signals in real time, and we are proactively engaging with the at-risk customers to mitigate their attrition. Back to you guys.
So what we've found is there are important commonalities among our target customers or partners in recurring revenue businesses. These companies vary from size to 100,000 customers to over 1 million customers, and they all share a passion for technological transformation. They want to harness technology to streamline processes, to be smarter in how they use their human resources. And their key focus areas include customer retention and enhancing customer lifetime value. We found that senior leadership plays a pivotal role in driving these initiatives, reflecting their commitment to using that technology as a lever for business success. As we look at the leaders we interact with on a regular basis, it brings us to a crucial discussion about the universal objectives and challenges faced by industry leaders. Questions like, how do we improve enterprise value? And how do we turn the data that we have, that we've been sitting on for years and years, into information, and then to impactful strategies that are operationalized with our frontline employees? Most leaders have fundamental concerns, such as identifying at-risk and high-value customers, tracking impact for continuous improvement, understanding what are the churn drivers within our organization, and then how do we improve offer conversion rates. Our webinars have shown how leaders are using our solution to tackle these challenges using data and AI-driven strategies. So what are the winning strategies for success when you're using artificial intelligence? I'll turn it back over to Vasu to answer.
So I guess these are amazing results, right? So 100 million, 50,000 proactive renewals, sometimes actually surpassing even the amount of sales that they're doing each year. An amazing number from Brandon, about 1/3 of the entire base, for a company as large as, serving 1 million people throughout US and Canada, back on renewed contracts, based on AI recommendations, all of that. These are amazing numbers. So now the question is always, that is what is being done. Now the question is, how do we do this, right? What is the proven formula to do this? So I'll flip through what we call our 5-step roadmap. When we look at this roadmap, of course, this roadmap has been perfected. We added more steps, we removed steps and things like that. We did certain things, to speed up things or to increase the amount of strategy time, business case time, all of that. So this is after perfecting these things and making sure that by following these steps in this particular sequence gives us the best possible results. Now, what is interesting is when we talk with customers, everybody wants step 3. Let's launch yesterday, not even 30 days from now, right? That's what everyone wants. In fact, many of them not even not just want to launch yesterday, they want to scale it right away, right? Let's just go and take this to wherever possible, because this is millions of dollars in value. Why are we waiting, right? So that's the first reaction. So while we share that same excitement, our job is to make sure that we go through the process as the right consultant, make sure that we build the right relationships, make sure that we always start with our step one, which is understand the current state, right? I'll talk about like how we do our assessment, our framework for the assessment, all these things. First, we want to always recommend understand where you are before we sketch the path for what is the right way to eventually get to step five, right? Then we recommend, let's do the business case, make sure that we do it your way, while we have a lot of templates and all of that we bring. That brings a lot of people together, from the C-level leaders down to the operational leaders. Then we are really ready for the launch, and then demonstrate the ROI, and then this is complete transformation, right? So everyone gets to 5 as quickly as possible, but going through this 1, 2, 3 in this particular order, not 5 first and then 2 next and then 1 last. That's not going to work, right? So we'll have to go through the assessment. We'll have to complete the business case, make sure everyone is excited. Then what you get is immense energy and alignment across the teams, whether they are call center, field, marketing, finance, right? All these leaders are completely aligned, right? So I'll just go through these 5 steps. We have done detailed webinars on all of these concepts that you can find on our resources page on Vosik AI website. But this is the secret to success in my view, right? So step 1 is what we call business assessment. We call it, and this is created for subscription companies. When we talk with these subscription companies, on the x-axis, you will see the analytics maturity. This kind of allows us to identify where they are. Are they measuring what happened? Why did it happen? As a stage 2 maturity with a little bit of root cause analysis. Most companies are already in either step 1 or step 2. What our solution gives them is the ability to go to step 3 or stage 3 or even stage 4. This is what most companies call predictive analytics stage 3, which is basically identifying what will happen, who's going to cancel, and in many cases why they will cancel, and even better, stage 4, what needs to be done, right? So taking someone at stage 1 or stage 2, our solution will allow them to go into stage 3 or 4, right? Predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics, right? So we don't, in this high-level webinar, we're not going to go into the details, but an entire 30-minute webinar is done on why this maturity assessment is an important one, what is the right way to do this, who are the right players to participate, and that exercise itself brings a lot of alignment with many of your team members. Many of our customers really, really appreciate just this assessment, which we do at no cost for many of our customers in their early days of business case development and things like that, right? So that's step 1, assessment. It brings the team together. It gives us a chance to identify where you are, what are the low-hanging opportunities, and what is the best way to go to predictions and prescriptions across your company, right? Now, if we go to the next step, right? So this is business case, and my favorite topic, because subscription businesses, right? The unit economics, right? Keeping customers is going to quickly deliver, tens of millions of dollars in value. But what we found is many times when we do these business cases, they're underestimating the value of retention, especially for subscription businesses, unlike retail or banking transactions where you do a transaction, the value of the transaction is just one-time transaction, right? But with a recurring revenue, right, when you are upgrading that customer, you're milking additional revenue for several years. When you're retaining that customer, you're getting monthly revenue for several years after that, right? So there are a couple of excess here that are, in my opinion, wrong way to calculate. So this example of 100,000 customers reducing their attrition from 18% by 200 basis points essentially is reducing attrition from 18% to 16%. You can do the math based on your specific numbers, whether it is customer size or attrition starting point. In the simplest case, it looks like, here, 100,000 customers, reducing attrition by 200 basis points, that 2,000 customers. Someone can underestimate this by saying, in 1 year, we might be able to make, close to 840,000 revenue. That's one way to calculate, but completely underestimating this because the revenue comes next year and next year and next year, right? Another way is calculating if each customer is valued at 1,700. There's detailed calculations that we are not going to go into. But my objective here is to highlight, what is the right way of doing the business case. If the lifetime value of each customer is, let's say 1,700, we can say 2,000 customers is equal to 3.5 million. That is far bigger number compared to the 800,000, but still underestimating the value of these customers, because those customers are saved next year, and it compounds the value, right? Now, again, you can do the math based on your own calculations. Another way is 2,000 customers. If we keep them, we don't have to spend money on sales. The cost of acquisition for each customer is $1,000. That means $2 million are avoided cost, right? So $1 million looks good, 3.5 million looks really good, 2 million looks also fantastic. But when we do the lifetime value calculation of saving 2,000 customers for a business of this size, this year and next year and next year and forever, is going to translate into $15 million of what we call remaining customer lifetime value increase, which many of our senior leaders, they work with their boards and their investors. When we do this calculation the right way, we connect with them right away. In fact, many of these business cases make it to the board level presentations, and they secure the support from the board. And we believe that is the right way to start these projects, right? So assessment first, business case next, and the right business case next, right? Then, of course, this is what everybody wants. Now you got the board support. Now you got your marketing support. Now you got your contact center support, your Salesforce supporting, your CEO supporting, so on and so forth, right? Now the question is where to launch. Should we launch it in the website? Should we launch it in the field? Should we, launch it with email marketing? Our recommendation is wherever there is human to human touch, right? And typically you find that human to human touch, the customer to one of your frontline reps touch, happening in the call center, right? So here, our recommendation is always launch in the call center. And there is a reason for that. I'm going to touch on that. The first thing that we do is we give our APIs. So before the call is delivered, the API already knows if this customer is a high-risk customer, a high-value customer, what is the right way to retain this customer or upgrade this customer, whatever your business case might be. So the call is routed. Once the call is routed to the right agent, now the agent gets to see something like what you're seeing on the screen, which is powered by our software. And that gives many things. The most important thing is the risk level of the customer, the risk drivers of this customer, and most importantly, what are the right offers to retain this customer or upgrade this customer, or maybe the referral incentive for this particular customer, right? So that's the combination, the API that routes the call and the guidance, AI-enabled guidance for the call center agent, right? Now the question is, why call center first, right? And the reason for that is, first of all, compared to automated interactions, when a person is talking with another person, we found that the conversion rates are much more higher, right? Not everyone is going to renew, not everyone is going to upgrade, but it gives us the chance, first of all, to start off with a very high conversion rates. And wherever we could not convert, the agents can capture the comments about, do we need to change the offers? Do we need to change the presentation script? Do we need to fine tune the algorithms? Because while we bring decades of experience in fine tuning these algorithms, and you get a very quick start, every business is slightly different. And within the first quarter or so, we're going to find these opportunities by just having dialogues with the call center agents on what is working, not working, and quickly fine tune this thing. So our recommendation is always do this in the call center, capture the success, capture the opportunities, fine tune this thing, and now you're ready for proving the ROI and scaling and so on and so forth, right? So we are done with step 1, step 2, step 3. This is absolutely the right way to launch based on all of our experience, right? And then the fun part, right? Let's now go back. We created a business case. How is the value looking like compared to the business case couple of quarters into the implementation, right? So this is our step 4, and there's a lot of calculations here. We don't need to go into all the details, but our solution automatically calculates the lifetime value of every single customer, automatically calculates the risk levels, automatically recommends the offers. There is typically some cost to that, introduces new metrics to your business, not at cohort level, but at individual customer level, right? So for every customer, we can open the solution, see the lifetime value of that customer, and if we are making some offers, what is the cost of that offer and what is the net present value, right? Many of our, especially the finance leaders, they say these metrics were never available in our business at a customer level. These are always available in some databases, some Excel calculators that are held with 3 or 4 analysts in a finance CFO organization, but not to the frontline team, right? So our software kind of gives everyone that visibility about which customer we are talking about and what is the right way to increase the lifetime value of every single customer, right? So you not only get the software, the right implementation, the right start, but you also get new metrics that may or may not be available, more often not available than available for your business, right? Once you prove this, your CFO is super happy. Now they're ready for, okay, why are we doing this? In fact, many of our customers also say this when they kind of go through their annual reviews and things like that. How come we are doing all these activities only in the call center? Yeah, that's by design. Now, why don't we do this in the website? Why don't we give these same opportunities to the field reps? Sometimes they might introduce incentives for driving these things more and more, because this is proven with such a high value, right? And that's where we say we are ready for scaling this thing. If you start this thing in the call center, then you're ready to implement. Sometimes, like different companies have different ways of taking the next step and the third step and the fourth step. But these example channels are ways to expand the touch points. The call center, you can take it into email campaigns, you can introduce direct mails, you can leverage your field service if you're like a pest control going to the home to service, or even your web portal or mobile app, for example, right? So this is where everything is proven with your assessment, your business case, launching in the call center, demonstrating the ROI, and now you're considering additional touchpoint channels, and our team kind of helps you in figuring out which channel, based on their availability, their readiness to integrate, the volume of interactions that are happening there. We recommend these channels and then work with you to take advantage of those available channels, right? Many times we also recommend starting with retention and then going into upgrades or referrals or many other use cases, but channels and use cases is the way to scale, right? So those are our 5 proven steps in our roadmap. Now, one other important thing that I wanted to highlight before I pass the remainder of the webinar back to Doug is, how do we start, right? So this is all looking exciting. It's tens of millions of dollars. We have done this for many companies. Where do we start, right? And I wanted to highlight, software is one thing. We have proven software, proven models. We have been focusing only on subscription businesses. But the question is, how do we do this, right? Is it just the software, or do we need a little more than the software? And one little story I wanted to share with you is, I'm also a Six Sigma black belt. For project selections, we have a rule of thumb, which is anytime you want to sponsor a project, if the project delivers $250,000 of annual value, you want to sponsor that project. That's Six Sigma rule of thumb, right? Now, when we create business cases here, and we have done through Brandon and Doug, multiple business cases, and many of them, for because of the economics that we shared earlier, they translate quickly into tens of millions of dollars in value. As a Six Sigma, we want to sponsor this project, even if it has 250,000. But when you have tens of millions, we recommend, let's be careful with this thing. Let's not put this in the hands of someone who's doing this for the very first time and risk, increasing, timeline for implementation and taking wrong steps and fixing all the wrong steps that don't need to be fixed. And our recommendation is always deploy the software, but also let Wozik bring the right team members So you don't have to deal with, some data scientist who's also doing 5 other things, or some IT engineer who's also fighting with other priorities and deadlines and things like that, right? So it's quick. With Wazik, when we bring the software along with the necessary solution, necessary resources, and we get to avoid all these issues that were highlighted in 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Our team has done this for many companies, and we bring 100+ data scientists and engineers who are exclusively focused on how to deploy the right AI for subscription recurring revenue businesses, right? So that's our implementation roadmap and couple of secrets of success for how we have delivered these tens of millions of dollars in value that Brandon, Doug, and myself, we have shared. So with that, I hope you have plenty of ideas on how to consider these things. I'll pass it to Doug about, what our customers think about us and how the roadmaps look like, and wrap it up. Doug?
Okay, thank you, Vasu. I'm going to flip, there we go. So our 90-day transformation strategy offers an innovative engagement model for ambitious, customer-obsessed brands like yours to drive AI-enabled customer lifetime value transformation with a high degree of confidence. Next slide, please. So while we earlier we did a deep dive into each one of these, I'm just going to summarize at a high level what this means for you. So these are a few of our customers and the value we drove and drive in their organization. And in summary, we accomplished this by combining a robust platform that Vasu and Brandon spoke about, and a growing list of business applications, a proven portfolio of machine learning models, and a business consulting services team led by senior business leaders and PhDs like Vasu. And each one of these customers and others tell us we've created a very unique end-to-end solution that's helped them realize and recognize significant business impact. Earlier, Vasu discussed the steps we take. I just want to make sure I'm on the right side there. Earlier, Vasu discussed the steps we take to transform the way subscription economic-based organizations manage their customers. In our experience, most organizations have a very reactive and fragmented approach to proactive lifecycle based compared to a proactive lifecycle based approach that unlocks untapped CLV, customer lifetime value growth opportunities. For example, on the left, we see what I call the as-is state, and on the right side, we see the to-be state. And you'll find that by using Vosic's solution, there'll be proactive interventions triggered by our very mature AI and machine learning models across the customer lifecycle. And B, microsegments and microsegmentation and offer optimization, AI for surgical targeting of the most high-risk customers, and of course, omni-channel interventions that's driven by our AI. So as we wrap up our webinar, I'd like to thank you for your time and interest in participating today. And for those of you who didn't participate but are looking at this because you're considering our solution, we encourage you to invite us in for what I call a subscription economics assessment, also known as a growth strategy workshop, that will provide you with insight to your current customer retention programs, supporting processes, technology, and areas for revenue improvement. And finally, and this is the exciting part, for all the attendees, or like I had said, for all of those that are considering a change to your very reactive retention models, we're offering a 50% discount on the first year of our AI software and services to help you retain your most valuable asset, your customers. I want to thank you today for your participation and interest, and I'll turn it back to Brandon in case there's any questions.
Thank you, Doug. Again, we appreciate you joining the webinar today. As you're looking at your 2024 plans as a company, your strategic plans, as you've huddled and met with your executive teams, if one of your goals is simply to reduce attrition, let's talk. If one of your goals has been, hey, we need to learn how to leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning more within our business, let's talk. If you're focused on, hey, we need to figure out a way to increase our enterprise valuation, let's talk. We know that we have a solution that works, that has a quick time to value, that has proven ROI, and that it reduces uncertainty of a complex deployment of technology. And we'd love to be a partner with you to help accomplish that in 2024. So please reach out if that's the case. I don't see any questions today. I think everyone's probably kind of end of the year and hey, we're good. But we've appreciated this chance to kind of cap off 2023. We look forward to a great new year for all of you. And if you have questions, please reach out. We would love to talk to you in 2024. Thank you very much, everyone.